Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a personal reading for someone who wants to know what their talents and gifts are and how to be able to use them to transition into a lifestyle that is more authentic and fulfilling for them. And this just happens to be my specialty and one of my favorite kind of readings to do, because when I first started doing tarot, I was able to use the cards and my intuition to help point me in a direction to ultimately being able to start this channel and do some things that I really love. And the great thing about tarot is that it's not 100% going to tell you like you are a you are a politician, or you are a nurse, or you are, it's not 100% like that, but it kind of helps point you in a good direction and kind of displays some of your energy and some of your innate qualities. And that's kind of what I'm tapping into here. I already see a lot of information coming out, and I'm excited for this. So if you were drawn to do this reading, or to click on this reading, this is a very personal reading for the person who purchased it, but I don't believe in coincidences. So if you're here, maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's some information that will come through for you as well. So stay tuned. And if you would like to purchase a personal reading, check out the description below, because I have a really good deal. Right now, I'm offering my readings for $22.22, and it's honestly, the last reading I did is probably like a $150 deal you're getting for like $22 right now. Because I'm trying to build this channel and practice my skills more and develop it and keep the volume going, kind of keep people purchasing readings so I can keep getting better at this. It's been great every day having different people hitting me up for readings and getting great feedback always. Thank you so much, guys, for all of your positive feedback and your gratitude. These messages have been helping me too, actually. They've been keeping me really accountable. I've really been trying to stay grounded so I can continue to do these readings. So thank you so much for, purchasing this reading and also waiting, because I didn't want to do this when you purchased it last night, because I was just really tired and kind of needed to take some time to get centered. And I am feeling centered. I got my harp music on. I just took a nice bubble bath. Let's do this. What is your current energy right now? So we're going to look into your current energy. We're going to see what energy is coming in, and then we're going to go into what your talents and gifts are. We're going to see how you can use them and like what the next step is for you, like on how to move forward with that information. Furthermore, we'll look into what you need to let go of in order to move forward, and we'll see what you need to open to receive, and then there's some final advice. So this should pretty much wrap it up for you. So right now in your life is a time, especially like this exact moment, I'm tapping into your energy, you are requiring a lot of rest and healing. I think you're starting to understand the whole concept of like healing and purification. You're starting to realize that as you go through life, sometimes you pick up like psychic debris. You pick up you can get tired and worn down emotionally, spiritually. We've all been through times where, we've been depressed, or we felt like exhausted and weary and like we couldn't continue on the journey. And for you right now, these emotions and feelings are coming up because you're going through a big transformation. I actually feel like this energy around you it's really forcing you almost to be more introspective lately. So you've been going within a lot, and you've been thinking more about the bigger picture instead of just being sucked into your daily routine and like maybe the more mundane details of your life. You've been thinking more like big picture lately. So maybe this is manifesting as some sort of like existential crisis. And you're really wondering like, what direction your life should take and how you're going to move forward here, because you want to fulfill yourself on a whole new level. How interesting is it that I have a couple people hit me up wanting these readings right now on like their talents and gifts and how to move forward. That really does seem to be what the energy is like in general right now in the collective. It's that time of year. It's the journey within, you know. In some parts of the world, it's fall, and so it's a time where the days, you know, they're getting shorter and you're inside more, and it's quite literally and metaphorically like this journey within. And so you're finding that you need to spend more time like alone and more time resting, and because you're just going through this transformation. You feel that you're changing inside and out. You might even look in the mirror and like your appearance is starting to change, and you're like, what's happening? Well, what's happening is that you're having an awakening. You're awakening to like your higher truth. You're awakening to yourself. You're finding yourself. You're maturing, and you're starting to realize what it is exactly you want out of life. This is the journey that you're being led on right now. And the energy coming in is this sense of frustration, because you're really eager to flow into your purpose. Like you're starting to feel like a calling, like you know that there's some type of purpose for you and for your life. And guess what? You've already fulfilled so much of your purpose in all the years you've already been here. But you're starting to feel like there's something bigger for you. And I have to say, I don't usually look at people's birthdays because I just think it's more fun to like not know anything about the person. But, you know, I did see that you wrote that you were 27 and like the year you were born, and we're the same age actually. And I just feel like, at least for me, 27 is like post quarter life crisis. It's like you've already become kind of disillusioned with your reality, and you're starting to step into your personal power and understand like that it's you that creates your reality, and that you can create a better one for yourself. It's like you live the first half of your life, a lot of people, feeling like you're just kind of this victim, you know, to circumstance and to all the things that are happening, and you develop this ego, you know, to survive and to get through it. And it's like there's like an ego death happening within you. That's what this is. There's like an ego death. And you're starting to like understand your connection, not just with yourself, but like with the whole world around you. And you're starting to like think that maybe there's a greater purpose you're going to be here. And by greater purpose and higher calling, I don't mean that like you're supposed to go out there and cure cancer or become a preacher or a tarot reader or something. Maybe it's just your higher calling is just to like make yourself happy and like live a life of peace, you know? Because look, this is my theory. A world of happy people is a happy world indeed, and peace on earth happens one person at a time. So, you know, if you can come to peace and you can do what makes you happy, and you can get to that place of alignment with yourself, that energy is like a butterfly effect. It trickles around to all the people in your life and helps inspire and motivate them as well. And your life can be a shining example of that, like a beacon of light and hope and truth for the other people around you. And that's who you are. You're already that person. And healing is simply revealing. It's revealing your truth. So you're going through healing right now, and there's nothing in you that needs to be healed. You are already whole and complete. But you're revealing your higher truth. You're revealing like to yourself that you're worthy. And the energy that's coming is frustration, because it always gets messier before it gets clean, you know? Like if you go wash your hands when they're super dirty, like after gardening or something, you know, get some soap on it, start rubbing it all around. It's all messy and just dirty and it's kind of gross. And then then you rinse it off with the water and they're fresh and clean. So that's what's going on right now. There's this healing that's happening in your life. There's this revealing, and things are kind of messy as you expose these truths to yourself that perhaps you're not happy where you're at. Perhaps you want to do something more in your life. Perhaps there's some old limiting beliefs and thought patterns that are holding you back in negativity and in fear, keeping you from moving forward. And so that's a little messy. It's like frustrating at first to have to like expose those fears and have to like push past that, because you can't move forward on this path if you're gonna hold yourself back in fear and indecision. And what you're being called to do right now is to grow, is to expand and change. All of us are. It's where we're at right now. So your talents and gifts. This is exciting. So okay, I'm seeing two cards here in this stack that are, first of all, saying, you're probably gonna laugh, all right, but one of your talents is the fact that you are really emotional and sensitive. And yes, that's a talent, okay? I feel like you're someone who just cries easily. If you watch a movie, you get like really sucked into it. Like if it's a scary movie, it like hits you intense. You might not be able to sleep after. If you're around someone who's like panicked and fearful, it really easily rubs off on you. It can be intense. You need a lot of alone time to recharge. You might even be what some people call a bit of an introvert. But this is actually a really beautiful gift to have. To be emotional, to be intuitive, to be a sort of empath. It's a beautiful gift. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to tap into, it allows you to be very artistic, actually, because you can tap into your sensitivity. You can tap into this emotional side of yourself and use it to produce art that helps other people express themselves or helps other people not to feel alone. It's like you're here to communicate, I feel like, what's going on in your heart. Like you have a lot of like really deep thoughts, and whether these thoughts are like fears or worries, it doesn't matter if they're positive or negative in nature. It's just you have a lot coming up in you that wants to be expressed. And right now, these emotions are manifesting as a block. They're keeping you tired and pinned down. They're like, it says you need to honor the cycle of your body, energy levels, and emotions. And so your energy is like off whack and out of balance because you're not channeling this in a productive way. If you don't channel your natural gifts and talents, they can actually kind of backfire on you and like kind of fester in like weird ways. Like along my earlier journey, when I wasn't speaking my truth and I wasn't in alignment with that and I wasn't in harmony, this gift I have of speaking and of communication, I used to use it to gossip about people. I used to use it to speak ill. I don't want to be hard on myself. I feel like when you're younger, everyone kind of falls into that trap, you know, when your friends jump off a bridge, you want to jump off a bridge too, kind of thing, you know, and eventually you wake up, that's what becoming conscious is, and realize that's hurting you and hurting other people. But I really believe that sometimes your greatest weakness can be your greatest strength. And so for me, that was obviously a weakness, but now I'm using it as a strength. I'm using it, this gift I have of speaking, like for positive things and like to help me express my truth and to help others and to uplift people and to motivate them versus tearing them down. And I feel like for you, it's like maybe some people or even you look at this sensitive side of yourself as like a secret, or it's like something you're afraid of. Like maybe people don't know how much you cry and how really sensitive you are and how like cutting certain remarks can be, and it makes it really harsh for you to be out in the world and like to hold down a job and like to be in a group of people a lot. Like you really kind of want to be more like alone and have that time to recharge and nurture yourself and nurture your sensitivity. And what I'm seeing here is when it comes to your sensitivity and like this gift, like I said, your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. So if right now this is a weakness and like you're really out of balance and like you feel like you can't get your emotions under control and you're having a hard time getting grounded, first of all, just know that there's hope. There are ways you can balance the side of yourself, and you can actually use this gift to do some amazing things. You just need to figure out how you're going to channel this. So these gifts, these talents you have, it's innate. And you know, it's just a matter of like, you know, giving yourself the space to like explore this side of yourself and develop it like without judging it, and like letting it, like nurturing it so it can blossom into something that's going to serve you. Because if you don't do that, your gift is going to work against you. And I feel like you've already been nurturing this side of yourself. And part of why you're probably attracted to me in this channel is because I'm using part of that as part of my gifts, like my vulnerability, my empathy, my intuition, my sensitivity. And you're attracted to that because you're like, it's like, you know, it makes it okay for you to have these feelings. You're like, finally, like there's someone out there who's like, feels like me. And I think that so many people in this society hide away like this side of themselves. And I feel like you're someone kind of like me who's called to be a bit vulnerable. You're supposed to like, what you're supposed to do is actually gonna call you to use this side of yourself. So that might scare you a little bit, but trust me, it's not scary. It's actually really freeing. And I'm already kind of getting this like vision of like what it is you're going to be doing. So I'll share that in a little bit. But this card right here, referring to your natural gifts and talents, is a card that stands for empathy and compassion. It says, one may be vulnerable to sad stories and relate overly to the problems of other people. They're saying that, you know, basically this is a card for someone who's sympathetic. Like, you're a really good confidant, so you're good at listening to people. You could be good at counseling. You have a lot of passion. You're artistic. You have some psychic abilities. You're very fair. You're like a romantic. And you're insightful. And you very authentic with how your emotions. So very nurturing, very empathetic, very sensitive. You could be good at art. You could be good with children. You could be good with counseling, therapy, life coaching, any type of healing art, you know, Reiki, sound healing, tarot. I mean, I don't know, you can create your own healing art. There's just so many ways. So these are some things that seem to kind of be natural for you. They're saying it's safe for you to explore the side of yourself. Like, it's safe for you to like recognize this as a gift. And like, you're coming home to yourself. Like, you're starting to realize like the truth of who you are right now. Like, there's other people like this out there, but right now you just feel kind of different because you're like disconnected. And so I really encourage you to add more tarot readers and more people who are doing energy healing and Reiki, and like add more like uplifting memes, and like add more people who are like being entrepreneurs and like growing their own business, and add more artists into like your social media and feeds, and start getting more inspired by like how other people are using this gift of sensitivity to serve themselves. They're saying that you're going to need to make steady progress to overcome your difficulties and sort things out and leave your troubles and anxieties behind. This card is an omen saying that you're going to have success after sorting out your worries and anxieties. Like, there's new opportunities for you, and a lot of times when it comes to like really emotional and sensitive people and like healers and artists, the wound is your teacher. The wound is your inspiration. So right now you feel like you're having a hard time moving forward because like you don't feel sorted. Like, mentally and emotionally you feel like kind of a mess. But I feel like there's actually a way that you can express everything that you're going through in order to move forward. And what I'm starting to see here is that you are some type of writer. Oh my gosh, look, chills, even on my leg. Okay, that's confirmation. Chills are resonance. That's what it means when you get chills, like you're resonating with something. So it's like, I'm tapping into this. You are some type of writer, because you're supposed to be using your sensitive and your emotions and like your experience to like share things with others. So let's flip these cards over, because these cards are from one of my personal decks, and these are your spiritual gifts. So we're looking into your talents. Basically, your talent is that you're very emotional. That's a talent. That's your superpower. And I bet you're just laughing right now. I bet you're laughing and you're crying. I bet you're crying and laughing at this right now. You probably shed a tear laughing. I'm just kidding. This is gonna confirm like maybe some of this, hopefully, and also see like what your spiritual gifts are. Oh my gosh, we got automatic writing. You are some type of writer. So basically, here's what the spiritual gift of automatic writing is. I have it. So I understand it. It's basically the ability to write without consciousness. So it's like whenever you write, it's as if something else takes over completely. Now this can also have to do with automatic speaking or automatic channeling. That's kind of what I do when I'm doing these readings. It's like the same thing, but this is just with writing. So you have the gift I have with speaking, but you have it with writing. So you're very gifted with words and communication, and you only wrote me like 2 sentences, but like the way you wrote those sentences describing your situation, and like it just created this whole story. And you've written me more before, because like this is not the first reading I've done for you, and I've told you before that you're a beautiful writer. So I feel like this has come up for you in past readings. I've read for so many people now that I'm like sometimes have a hard time remembering the last reading, but I think I've told you this before, if I remember, that you have a gift with this, and you might be really afraid of how you're going to do this, and you might not even know where to start, and you probably have writer's block, and your life just seems a lot more complicated. If you're a writer, writers are complicated, right? I've dated writers. I am a writer. I'm kind of complicated, I guess. So you've got that whole thing going on too, like that whole writer personality. And so I feel like out of all the artists I've ever met, writers are the ones that are the most self-conscious. And, you know, it's good to have humble confidence, but sometimes this sensitivity can hold you back and keep you from, you know, making progress in your life and actually putting yourself out there. So as sensitive and introverted as you are, you're going to have to find a way to put that pen to paper and get your stuff out there. Luckily, there's so many amazing ways to share your art and share your writing these days. There's like all of these like fan fiction like blogs and stuff you can go on. There's this one website, I forget what it's called, but you can release your book a chapter at a time, and there's all these people who will like get addicted to it and like subscribe to your book. It's so cool. There's so many workshops, and there's even like book writing software I've tried, and there's so much out there to support writers, and it's so easy to get connected to people who will want to read your material and support you. And even if writing a book sounds daunting, maybe you can just write a couple words and post it on a meme. And there's people like R.H. Scene, or what's his name? I don't know, I just kind of forget. It's R.H.S.I.N.H. or something on Instagram, but like he's got some really, really cool poetry, and, you know, I'm constantly reblogging stuff like that. So there's a lot you can do with writing. You can write music. I can sit here all day and probably talk of ideas for your writing, but you need to be channeling your emotions into that, and don't be afraid. Just start by journaling. Start by writing your feelings down. Even if your feelings are like really extreme, and like it just helps. I don't know. It just really helps writing down your feelings and your moods, and even if you never read it again, or you read it back a week later and you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking that day? Whatever, like, who cares? Don't judge yourself. Just write stuff down and just get in the habit of writing. Also, read. Mark Twain says if you don't have time to read, you don't have time to write. So make sure that you're actually reading books and getting inspired, because sometimes, you know, the way other people use words or their imagery, or just how intensely you get drawn into a story reminds you and fills you with energy to want to go try to do some more writing. And don't think about what other people are going to think. I just actually said this to the last person I did a personal read for. And it's funny because they're actually going through something similar. They're trying to find a way to like do their art as well. And maybe get out of working for the man so much, get out of the routine. Like I told them that they need to make sure that when they move forward with this, that they're not caring what other people think. Like to give yourself that time to be able to explore this side of yourself, almost like a child, you know? Because remember when you were little and you wanted to try something, you would just get inspired and you would do it. And you would do it because it was fun. You would do it because like it was like a release, and like you wouldn't be thinking about like who cared and who would see it and like if it was going to be perfect or not. So let go of perfectionism and just go for it, because this is, I swear, like such a clear reading. And you have the ability to see energy, and you're very sensitive to light and colors, and you're very empathetic. Like you can read auras. So I just feel like aura reading together with the automatic writing is, and your gift of sensitivity, it's kind of showing me this picture of you, like that you have this really deep understanding of the world, and it's like you almost see the world in metaphors, and you understand energy, and you know that's all the ingredients of a writer. And so this is what you're here to do. You need to find out how you're going to make this happen. And just commit yourself to this path. You're going to be here and alive all these years already. Why not spend some time, like, you know, making this happen? 1 chapter a day, 1 page a day. I got to keep writing 1 page a day. I've been telling all you guys that. That's the one thing I've been avoiding lately. I know that this reading is a message for me too. How ironic. Because I have been trying to write 1 page a day and I gave up like a couple weeks ago. I don't know, I've been focused on so many things like this channel and my fashion work, but this is reminding me like 1 page a day because it adds up. I already have like 50 pages so far on this one project I'm working on, and I did that 1 page a day for a couple months, and it's crazy scrolling past and being like, oh my god, I literally have 50 pages. So it'll add up really fast, even if you just do 1 page a day. So, let's keep each other encouraged. Now that we kind of know, like, what's going on with your talents and gifts, how do you use them? Like, how are you going to use these gifts to transition into a lifestyle that's more authentic and fulfilling for you? Because it's great that you have these gifts and you have the choice and the ability to use them however you want. No matter how many people you come into contact with in your life, no matter what path you choose, like, you have free will. And so you can use these gifts for the man, or you can use them for yourself, you know? You're going to use these gifts wherever you go. But I think that we all have the possibility and potential to be able to create a life of infinite abundance doing what we love. So how can you do that? They're saying you're going to have to stick your neck out and make the conscious decision to start on a new path. Like, you're going to have to consciously decide, like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to do this. You can't just, like, kind of fiddle around and, like, try to write a page one day and, like, give up and then, like, I don't know. And then, like, no matter how you feel, no matter how self-conscious you feel, no matter how bad of a day or a week or a month or a year you have, you need to find a way, no matter what, to commit yourself to this. You got to tell yourself, I don't care what happens in my life, like, this is important to me and I deserve this, I'm worthy, and I choose this new path. It's all about intention. It is all about intention. As long as you make a clear intention to the universe and it's coming from your heart space, and you just try to take some little steps, move forward, the universe will be like, bam, and bring you opportunities out of nowhere. The universe just waits for you to commit yourself to something and move forward. Like, it's just waiting for you. So, you might be waiting for a sign, you might be waiting for, but you're gonna have to take action. First, you take the leap of faith, first you commit yourself, first you set the intention, first you take that step into the unknown, and then the universe will bring you what you need to continue forward, to take the first step. You're just gonna have to walk in faith, because look, here's the path, and it looks fun, it looks harmonious, but it kind of disappears here into the unknown. You can't see the end of the path or where the road is taking you. But you know, like, you're following your heart, and you're just gonna have to take that leap. And I feel like that's where you're at. So, with that said, though, more specifically, what is the next step here for you? I got a lot of cards that came out. First, you need to let go of the judgments you have of yourself. As a writer, as someone who is analytical, as someone who can tend to overthink a lot, I just have to say that sometimes your worst enemy is your inner critic. And I don't know anybody who has worse inner critics than writers. This is something I've been, like, fighting. This is the battle I've been fighting my whole life, is against my inner critic. All the voices in your head that tell you're not good enough, that tell you that you're not ready, that tell you you don't have the right training, that you're not smart enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not educated enough, or you're not, you don't look like this, or you don't look like that, you don't come from here. Like, there's so many thoughts that can happen in your head of, and you're just like, oh my gosh, where is this coming from? But look, you're not alone. I think things like that too sometimes. Everyone does. And eventually what you have to do is you have to have boundaries. When those thoughts pop in your head, you need to, like, love yourself enough to say no. To be like, you know what? No, I'm choosing my choice, and I know that my these emotions I have and my sensitivity is a gift. And I know that my open heart is a gift. And I know even if this paragraph I wrote sounds like shit, whatever, later I'm going to come back and revise it. It'll sound great. And all that matters is that I'm putting this pen to paper and I'm making this happen. You know, you got to not judge yourself. You got to be willing to make mistakes. You got to be willing to write something that just sounds stupid and not hate yourself for it. And, you know, have the courage to be able to let your work be critiqued and edited and to work on things over and over until it's ready. And you got to be willing to open up your heart and to be vulnerable. And that starts with you, like, you know, not judging yourself as much and like recognizing when you're doing that. And because you're going to have to, every time you sit down and write, you're going to have to face your fears. Every single time you sit down, you're going to have to face that inner critic. And you're going to have to learn how to just, like, kind of laugh at your inner critic and just kind of tune it out. And that's what I've been learning how to do. That's how I got those 50 pages, which is something, at least. And I'm going to remember this, actually. It's funny, I'm like channeling you all these messages, but I'm human too. I'm not like an expert on this. This is just my gift. My gift happens to be that I'm an automatic speaker. And so these messages that are coming through me, like, I know I need to hear this too. Like, I can be so judgmental on myself and, you know, stuck in perfectionism when I go sit down to write. Like, sometimes you got to take it back to, like, why are you doing this? And it has to do with, like, expressing yourself and, like, you want to be authentic and just let those words flow. And so you also need to trust that you have an infinite supply. You're probably really scared about how you're going to be able to make a living doing this and how you're going to become successful. And obviously that's your goal. Obviously, like, if you're going to, like, really commit yourself to this path, you want to be successful, you want to make money, you want to get published, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with setting that intention and setting that goal. And so you need to trust yourself and, like, tell yourself, like, you're worthy and release your expectations, but set intentions to be successful at this and trust that you're going to be supplied for all the materials that you need. And whatever block you hit on the process, there's going to be ways to continue to move forward. And you're just going to have to trust that. Not fear the future with this so much. Just kind of go with the flow and see where this path wants to take you. So, your next step. We're still on your next step. And, like, I don't know, this card is, like, so cool. It's saying, like, I feel like what's happening in your life, it's like destiny. Your next step, it's going to be something that you're guided to take, and you need to continue to follow this path. And I feel like the next step is going to reveal itself to you. But it's going to have to do with planning and developing your language skills and deciding to be very independent and focused. And so you're going to have to tap into, like, your intellectual side and really get organized so you can take action to manifest, you know, whatever this is, this writing project of yours. They're saying you're very quick-witted and you're very insightful. That's what this card is talking about. And so it's like more confirmation that this is a path for you. I'm going to read you this, okay? This is what this says, okay? This is the card of an analytical, shrewd, and insightful mind at work. This is someone who carefully plans things step by step and prefers that things be done in an orderly, organized fashion. This sense of strength, independence, and idealism can lead to isolation in activities that feature self-reliance. Self-expression of the intellect through language could involve writing, scientific research, and other professional ventures. Balance is needed so that the big picture is not lost in the little details. So you need to commit yourself and do this. You're probably just like, whoa, that's fast. Okay, so I'm an emotional person, I'm like a writer, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm supposed to commit myself to this? Yeah. What's holding you back? Nothing. You got no excuses. You got no excuses. A page a day. Just kidding. But lots of confirmation coming through. This is what you're here to do. What do you need to let go of in order to move forward? To put it bluntly, your fears about how you're going to be able to make money. You're really being called to just have faith. I wish I could say something more to help you, but you're really going to have to pull up your inner strength and believe in yourself. You don't realize how amazing and how talented you really are. I can feel it. I can feel it. You are seriously so amazing and so talented. You're here for a reason. You're born for a reason. You are at, you're 27. You're at the apex of your life cycle. You can do anything. You really can. I don't care. I always say I don't care how old you are, where you're from, but we can't deny here that you do have a certain advantage with where you're at in this life cycle. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who can comment and tell you to do it. Like, seriously, take the risk. You don't have a lot holding you back here, Even if there's kids in the picture, there's still a way you can do it. The lady who created this deck, actually, Doreen Virtue, she received guidance that she was supposed to be a writer, and she was a single mom at the time, and she didn't even know how she was going to move forward, but she did the whole page a day thing. She woke up early before her kids went to school, and she did it, and now she lives on this beautiful island in Hawaii, and she has card decks translated in many languages all over the world. Her books are in many languages all over the world, and when you read her books, they're not like perfect and like all flowery and like intense language. Like, it's just very simple. It's just very direct. Like, she's just speaking her truth. So whether or not you want to create some type of science fiction and you want to get crazy with your imagery, or you just want to teach people how to chill out, how to follow their truth, maybe you're going to help write books that are going to teach people how to follow whatever path you're going to go on. Who knows? Whatever it is, you have your own unique voice. You are here with power. If you just pull up this inner strength and start moving forward, you're going to start seeing the abundance come. The universe has a soft spot for artists. The universe has a soft spot for writers. It's going to make sure that you're going to have that food on your table and a roof over your head and then some. So you need to stop letting this be your excuse. And it's time to move forward. This is the new moon card, and guess what? Yesterday we had a new moon in Libra, and this is the perfect time. The perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. I'm gonna call your reading No Excuses. But it's also it's gonna remind me every time I scroll by that I have no excuses for not doing one page a day. 'Cause if I'm telling you to do that, I better practice what I preach, huh? This is fun, actually. Open to receive. So what's coming into your life? What should you open to receive in relation to all of this? Peace. Isn't that a beautiful card to see? It's actually going to really make you happy to channel and use your natural gifts and talents more regularly. And it's going to help balance you out. It's going to help you balance because you're going to have somewhere to channel all these emotions and all this intense energy. They're saying you need to trust your wisdom. When it comes to what you're going to be writing, you need to trust yourself when it comes to the topic. When it comes to, like, if you're going to make little memes for the internet, or if you're going to write, a whole novel and a whole series of books, whatever that is, you've got to trust yourself. And it doesn't have to be spiritual, you could write something that's like, I don't know, like a fantasy novels for teenagers or something. You could write the next Hunger Games or something. Who knows? Like, it doesn't have to, just whatever you want to write about, For me, I can use my gifts of communication for whatever I want. I just happen to really love talking about personal growth. I love talking about the universe. I love talking about life. I love encouraging and motivating and inspiring people. I've always done that just naturally. It's just part of me. And so that's what I love. That's how I'm using my gift. But, if it makes you happy to write about something silly, like funny books, like Uncle John's Bathroom Reader or something, write a book like that. Who cares? And there's going to be money coming in. You are going to make money off of your pen. I swear. You just need to actually take action and do the work. And the work isn't really that hard. It takes a lot to, you just gotta fight past the procrastination. It's harder to like fight and get past the procrastination than it actually is to do the work. Once you can get past that, once you can get into a routine with your writing, once you can make it part of your life and like actually start visualizing and having positive thoughts about your future with writing instead of negative thoughts about it, you start working for yourself instead of against yourself there, you'll start seeing the evidence come in. So this is the Make-A-Wish card. They're like, make a wish. What do you really want to see happen when it comes to your writing? If there were no obstacles, nothing standing in your way, you were like a multi-millionaire, and you were like, everything was balanced, and you were happy, and like, you had already perfected your craft, and everything was flowing, what kind of book would you write? What kind of project would you do? What would you speak about? And realize that there are no obstacles other than the ones that you're creating in your head. So whatever vision or wish you desire to see fulfilled in this area, it shall be, and it already is. Preaching. Okay, these are your last two cards. Your advice. So with all this said, you're probably a little overwhelmed because there's been this rabid Aquarius going off on you for about 45 minutes now. But they're saying easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. You could be a little disillusioned with your life right now because you're realizing like whatever it is you're doing, whatever routine you're in, like it might not be serving you anymore and there's changes to make, and like you're obviously going to be starting like this new career and this new lifestyle with your writing. But you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Everything that's happened in your life already has kind of been leading up to this moment. And you're going to look back and actually see like all the evidence for you being this person. And you're going to see like, this is a beautiful, 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 harmonious energy you have in your life. These are very beautiful gifts, and honor them and use them well, and take it slowly and just follow the natural flow of your life. If you feel overwhelmed and you don't really feel like starting this right now, don't. Like, just keep it in the back of your mind and spend time like coming to balance and creating space, and continue doing your healing or your revealing. So continue that. And honestly, what I see here is that it's going to take a little bit of time for you to be able to get the energy to move forward with this. So don't feel guilty about that, because, you're going to want to move forward with this, but there's still a little bit of healing left. This bear is basically just like, get in the cave. And he's like, you know why? Just get in the cave. He's just like, you need to rest. You need to hibernate. You need to go into your cocoon and, spend some time like growing and changing, and then you'll come out with your wings. You'll be a little butterfly. But these are big changes that are going to be happening in your life, and I don't know why we get this feeling in our mid-20s, feeling like life is over or something. We start feeling like it's because, it really is the end of one chapter of your life, like your youth, and you're really stepping into like adulthood and maturity. But that doesn't mean that you have to like let go of your inner child. That doesn't mean that you have to like abandon all of your hopes and dreams. And what you might be seeing around you is that there's a lot of people in your life who are abandoning themselves, and they're abandoning their emotions, and they're abandoning their dreams and their heart's desires. And that's the hardest thing about being in your 20s, I think, is watching other people on their journey and just kind of seeing people just kind of fall into line with the system. And the thing is like, you can't judge other people. Like, this is coming up. Like, everyone's on their own path, and some people do choose a traditional path. Not everyone is here to like be like a spiritual person, or like to be an artist, or to be a writer. But what you're realizing now is like, you are kind of different, and this is a very unique path, and you need to connect with other people out there who are like you, and start following and subscribing to more information from people like that, to help validate you and to create like a sense of community, and to help inspire you as you're like starting to like kind of flirt with this idea of going in this direction. big changes you're going to make in your life, but this is possible for you. I don't know why because I'm feeling like this, you feel like you can't for some reason. And, it's true that there are other people who, you know, they've already been to school and they've already got their job set for them and they've got kids and houses, and like, I feel like you feel kind of left behind because you're still trying to figure out exactly what your gifts are and what you're supposed to do. But not everyone has it figured out, and sometimes 10 years later people change their minds and go back to school, or like they quit that and they go somewhere else and do this or that. Like, your life is a journey, and comparing yourself to other people is not helping you here, because you're very unique. Like, you're an artist and you're a writer, and so like you've got your own thing going on, and so like it's going to be confusing if you just look to like people who are on a traditional path. You got to find other people out there who aren't on a traditional path, and you're going to have to create your own path here to get where you want to go. There's lots of advice out there on like how to be a writer and how to get your book published and like how to do all that. So of course, like, you know, link into that and try to help yourself to the next level. But at the same time, remember, like, you have to create your own path here and carve this out on your own. And the way forward is not going to be clear. It's not going to be as safe and as traditional and as secure and as predictable as some paths. But I assure you that it's safe. I assure you that you're being guided. I assure that like there's like a universal energy or force that's like guiding this whole thing together. There's like a sense of destiny to this, and so you just need to continue forward here and allow this to unfold. So that's a huge message for you. It's just allowing this to unfold. But I'd love to hear what you think, especially about the writing. And I just really encourage you to do this and move forward. I'd love to read whatever it is you end up publishing, and there are some good omens here. So continue to move forward in this direction. This is what you're supposed to be doing right now. It could be that the writing ultimately ends up leading you to something else in your life that's more for you, but I actually do feel like this is something very, very prominent, and lots of really direct messages coming out. So thank you once again for purchasing this reading, and I hope that it helps you. It definitely helped me, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna go write my one page right now. So thanks for that. Peace out.